What if the foods you've been avoiding are exactly what your body needs after 60? We're talking about real, nutritious foods with no sugar or harmful carbohydrates that nourish your heart, muscles, and brain, while also automatically balancing your blood sugar. Stick with me because number 3 on this list has been quietly assisting seniors in avoiding blood pressure medications, and no one talks about it. After 60, something shifts. Foods that formerly gave you energy now make you sleepy. You may notice an increase in blood sugar, heavier legs, or a loss of mental sharpness. Nonetheless, many seniors continue to consume items that discreetly raise inflammation and sugar levels without even realizing it. That is why an increasing number of people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are turning to low-carb, no-sugar diets, not for weight loss, but for survival. To stay mobile, think clearly, and avoid the hospital. In this video, we'll look at 8 foods that are low in carbohydrates and sugar yet high in nutrients that your aging body requires. And we will not simply list them. I'll explain how each one helps you maintain your energy, circulation, and independence as you age. Let's start with a lush green that does a lot more than fill your plate. It helps to protect your muscles and memory. 1. Leafy greens, spinach and kale. Let's start with one of the simplest but most effective diet modifications you can make. Leafy greens, including spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. These are not simply salad ingredients, they are among the few foods on earth that have significant health benefits. 1 cup of fresh spinach has only 1 gram of carbohydrates, the majority of which is fiber, and nearly no sugar. Nonetheless, it contains vitamin A for immunity, vitamin C for cell repair, and vitamin K for bone health. These nutrients aid your body's recovery, protect your arteries, and even slow cellular aging. Let me share a story about a patient of mine, Sarah, who is 68. Sarah had always been active, a keen gardener and a regular at her local senior center. But over the past year, she noticed a creeping fatigue, a persistent brain fog, and a general feeling of being heavier. She attributed it to simply getting older. We ran some tests, and while nothing alarming stood out, her blood sugar levels were consistently on the higher end of normal, and her inflammatory markers were elevated. I suggested a simple dietary shift, reduce processed carbohydrates and significantly increase her intake of leafy greens. She was skeptical, admitting she rarely ate anything green beyond the occasional iceberg lettuce. Instead of her usual mid-morning toast with jam, I encouraged her to try a spinach smoothie with a few berries, or a generous spinach salad with olive oil and a boiled egg for lunch instead of her typical ham sandwich. She started slowly, incorporating a handful of spinach into her scrambled eggs each morning. Within 2 weeks, she called me, genuinely surprised. "Dr. Lee," she said, "I feel lighter. My thinking is clearer, and even my joint discomfort has subsided. I haven't changed anything else, just what I put on the plate." That is the point. This is not about limitations. It is about intelligent replacement. Begin lunch or dinner with a cup of fresh spinach or gently sauté kale in olive oil for 5 minutes. That one tweak can help you maintain stable blood sugar levels and consistent energy throughout the day. Greens are beneficial, but what if I told you there is a crunchy vegetable that can assist your body in cleansing extra sugar before it becomes a problem? Let us look at that next. 2. Non-starchy vegetables, broccoli and cauliflower. Next, 2 simple vegetables that can subtly improve how your body feels after each meal, broccoli and cauliflower. They aren't showy, they don't have superfood labels, yet the magic happens inside your body. You see, both are non-starchy, which means they are naturally low in carbs and contain no sugar. But here's the catch. They're high in fiber, which slows digestion and prevents blood sugar increases. That is why they are especially useful for persons over the age of 60. As we become older, our insulin sensitivity decreases, blood sugar becomes more difficult to control. But these vegetables slow it down. They allow your body to release sugar more slowly and keep you full without boosting your glucose levels. Consider my patient, Robert, a 72-year-old retired engineer. Robert used to dread mornings. He'd wake up with stiff, painful joints and a pervasive lack of energy that made even simple tasks feel monumental. He assumed it was just age, a natural part of getting older. His wife, a wonderfully proactive woman, started roasting broccoli and cauliflower with olive oil and sea salt 3 times a week, serving it alongside their dinner. She simply made it a standard part of their meals, without any fanfare. Within a month, Robert started noticing something unusual. He could get out of bed quicker. His knees didn't hurt as badly. Even his blood pressure dropped a couple of points during his routine checkup with me, something he hadn't achieved with medication adjustments alone. The best part, he didn't feel like he was dieting. He was simply eating genuine, flavorful food. He confessed to me, "Dr. Lee, I don't know what it is, but those trees, as my wife calls them, they just make me feel lighter." It was the steady, gentle regulation of his blood sugar and the reduction in systemic inflammation that made the difference. If you haven't already, begin with simply 1 cup of roasted or steamed broccoli or cauliflower every day. Mix in some garlic, olive oil, or lemon. Keep it basic yet consistent. Vegetables are smart, but what if you could eat a delicious, enjoyable meal that has no carbohydrates and really protects your brain and heart? Let's talk about it next. 3. Fatty fish, salmon and mackerel. Let's go from the garden to the sea, because fatty fish may be your best friend when it comes to protecting your brain, heart, and independence. Salmon, mackerel, and sardines. Each of them has something in common: no carbohydrates and plenty of omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. This means they assist in reducing the low-level inflammation that accumulates in the body over time, the kind that harms blood vessels, stiffens joints, and potentially hastens memory loss. That is not just theory. According to a recent Harvard study, seniors who consume more omega-3 fatty acids have sharper thinking, improved cardiac function, and are even less likely to experience cognitive loss. I've seen it in real life, too. My patient, Eleanor, a delightful 73-year-old former librarian, came to me concerned about her increasing forgetfulness. She'd misplace her keys more often, forget appointments, and felt a general fuzziness in her thoughts. We discussed various strategies, and among them, I strongly recommended incorporating fatty fish into her diet at least twice a week. Nothing fancy, simply a fillet cooked with lemon and dill, or sometimes even canned wild salmon on a salad. Within 2 months, she enthusiastically reported a significant change. "Dr. Lee," she said, "fewer senior moments, as I call them. My thoughts feel clearer, and I'm not fumbling for words as much." Perhaps it was a coincidence, she pondered, but her mood also felt significantly more stable. It wasn't magic. Good nutrition works with your body, not against it. The omega-3s were quietly reducing inflammation in her brain, improving blood flow, and supporting neural pathways. It's a powerful, often overlooked strategy for maintaining cognitive vitality and cardiovascular health. And for many of my patients, the consistent consumption of these healthy fats has even allowed us to reduce or avoid certain blood pressure medications by naturally supporting arterial health. So, if you haven't already, make fatty fish a regular feature on your menu. Even canned wild salmon can do wonders. Simply drizzle with olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Dinner is now covered, but don't forget breakfast. One meal has been wrongfully vilified for decades. However, for seniors on a low-carb diet, it is nearly ideal, and it might be sitting in your refrigerator right now. Let us discuss it next. 4. Eggs. Now, let's move on to something that you presumably already have in your kitchen: eggs. They've been misunderstood for years, feared for their cholesterol, and skipped for cereal. But here is the truth. Eggs may be one of the finest foods for older folks who want to control their blood sugar and stay mentally alert. One large egg contains less than 1 gram of carbohydrate, no sugar. However, it contains a lot of high-quality protein, as well as minerals like choline and lutein, which are necessary for memory, brain function, and vision. You may not realize it, but choline maintains the cells that allow your brain to think and remember. And lutein, it protects your eyes, particularly against age-related vision loss such as macular degeneration. Let me tell you about Claire. She's 63 and used to skip breakfast or have a piece of toast on the go. By 10 a.m., her vitality had run out. She'd experience foggy thoughts and trembling hands, assuming it was simply low blood sugar. I recommended something basic: 2 boiled eggs and half an avocado in the morning. No sugar meant no mid-morning crash. She started this simple routine, and within days, the difference was palpable. "Dr. Lee," she reported, "I feel sharper, more balanced, and truly solid throughout the morning." And the best part? It cost less than a coffee shop muffin. She had unknowingly been trapped in a cycle of blood sugar spikes and crashes, which eggs, with their perfect balance of protein and healthy fats, effortlessly resolved. Scrambled, poached, or boiled, No matter how they're prepared, eggs are inexpensive, digestible, and extremely nutritious for seniors, especially when combined with healthy fats or greens. Eggs are ideal for meals, but what about snacks? Coming up, a modest handful of this meal can reduce inflammation and increase energy without raising your blood sugar. Let's have a look. 5. Nuts and seeds, almonds and chia seeds. Let's speak about snacks, because this is when many people over 60 experience blood sugar falls. You have a nice breakfast, but by 3 p.m., you're foggy, weary, and possibly even unsteady. What do most people reach for? Cookies, crackers, even a granola bar. But here is the truth. These quick cures are frequently filled with hidden sugars and refined carbohydrates. They raise your blood sugar levels before lowering them again, leading to that energy slump. That's why nuts and seeds can be such a game changer. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin, and chia seeds, they are all low in carbohydrates and sugar, but abundant in protein, healthy fats, and magnesium. That means they provide stable energy without a crash. I had a patient, Tony, who is 70 and recently retired. His daily routine used to involve 2 oatmeal cookies every afternoon with his tea. He thought he needed the sugar to keep going through the post-lunch slump. But by supper, his energy had plummeted, and he often found himself reaching for more sugary treats. During our consultation, I suggested a simple swap. Instead of the cookies, a small handful of almonds and a cup of chia pudding made with unsweetened almond milk. The change for Tony was remarkable. The magnesium surge from the nuts and seeds helped prevent that mid-afternoon crash, curbing his cravings for sweets, and even alleviating some of the nighttime leg cramps he'd been experiencing. Nuts and seeds also improve bone density, neuron function, and reduce silent inflammation, which is a key cause of weariness in older persons. Tony told me, "Dr. Lee, I don't miss the cookies at all. I feel steady, my mind stays clear, and I'm not constantly battling that tired feeling." Tip: keep a small package of unsalted almonds in your car or pocket, or soak chia seeds in almond milk overnight for a quick, blood sugar-friendly treat. Now, let us talk about something creamier. Yes, it is high in fat, but it is one of the best foods for seniors who want to naturally manage their blood sugar, and you might be surprised. 6. Avocados. Let's talk about avocados, which have been misunderstood for years. Many seniors continue to avoid them because they believe that fat is bad. But is it true? This notion is outdated and may be preventing you from achieving better health. Avocados are high in monounsaturated fats, which protect the heart, enhance insulin sensitivity, and help manage blood sugar. The majority of individuals are surprised by what follows. Avocados have almost little sugar and have extremely low net carbohydrates due to their high fiber content. This means they digest slowly, keep you fuller for longer, and do not cause blood sugar spikes. I remember a conversation with Joanne, 66, who had avoided avocados for the majority of her life. She thought they were too fattening, a direct result of outdated dietary advice from decades past. During a discussion about her struggle with consistent hunger and elevated LDL cholesterol, I explained the benefits of healthy fats and suggested she try adding half an avocado to her lunch salad a few times a week. Within a few weeks, Joanne noticed a significant difference. She felt fuller for longer, so she naturally ate less overall. And at her next appointment, her LDL cholesterol was decreased while her HDL, the good sort, had increased. No medicines, no crash diets, just the appropriate type of fat. She was amazed. "It's like magic, Dr. Lee," she exclaimed. "I'm eating more fat, but I'm losing weight and my cholesterol is better." This is the power of replacing processed carbs with nutrient-dense, healthy fats. Avocado can be sliced and added to eggs, salads, or grilled vegetables, or mashed with lime, garlic, and a touch of salt, a creamy spread that benefits the brain, heart, and blood sugar. Speaking of heart-healthy fats, this next item does not require chewing, but only 1 spoonful per day can protect your arteries, and it operates discreetly behind the scenes. Let's have a closer look. 7. Olive oil. Now let's talk about something very easy, yet commonly neglected. Olive oil. Not a food to chew, but one that truly nourishes. It's sugar-free, carb-free, and high in ingredients that combat inflammation, protect the heart, and even improve memory as you age. The magic comes from its good fats, monounsaturated fats, and antioxidants like oleocanthal, which functions as nature's ibuprofen. And research backs it up. According to studies published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, frequent olive oil consumption is associated with a lower risk of stroke and cognitive impairment, particularly among older persons. It is a normal aspect of life in Mediterranean countries. Seniors in their 80s and 90s can be seen walking to the market, gardening, and joking with family, and they frequently mention olive oil as one of the secrets to their long life. It isn't flashy, but it's incredibly effective. Let me give you an example from my practice. Eleanor, 71, had always used margarine or butter for cooking and dressing her vegetables, believing them to be healthier options. When I suggested she switch exclusively to extra virgin olive oil, she was a little hesitant, worried about the taste. I encouraged her to try it for everything, drizzling it over steamed broccoli, mixing it into her salads, and even putting a teaspoon in her morning scrambled eggs. Within a few weeks, she reported feeling lighter and less bloated. More significantly, at her follow-up visit, I observed that her blood pressure was a few points lower than it had been in months, despite no other changes in her medication or lifestyle. Small modifications yield real results. Olive oil silently goes to work, reducing arterial stiffness, calming inflammation, and providing those essential fatty acids that support brain health. We've covered greens, seafood, eggs, and oils, but what about our last food? It's contentious. Some believe it is bad for you. However, for seniors, it may be one of the best things they can add to their plate. Let's dispel the myth. 8. Cheese. Finally, let us discuss an issue that has been disputed for many years. Cheese. Some describe it as unhealthy, excessively greasy, and too salty. But what's the truth? Cheese may be one of the best foods to keep in the fridge for older folks, particularly those who are trying to reduce their sugar and carb intake. Why? Because most cheeses have almost no sugar. They're low in carbohydrates, high in protein, and high in calcium, which is vital for maintaining bone strength and preventing fractures as you age. And the fat it contains actually makes you feel fuller, so you are less likely to seek out processed snacks. Consider my patient, Helen, a lively 74-year-old. For years, her go-to snacks were crackers, cookies, or whatever was convenient in the pantry. Unsurprisingly, her weight gradually increased, and her blood sugar became very difficult to manage, often swinging wildly throughout the day. Then she made a minor alteration, a swap I suggested. She replaced her midday nibbles for a couple of slices of hard cheese, like cheddar or Swiss, often accompanied by some cucumber slices or olives. Just that one change. Within a few weeks, her urges for sugary treats subsided dramatically. She didn't feel starved between meals, and the consistent protein and fat kept her blood sugar much more stable. At her next checkup, I noted that she was no longer gaining weight, and her blood sugar readings were significantly more controlled. No medications, no guilt, simply smarter nibbling. The calcium was an added bonus for her bone health. Do you want to test it? Begin with hard cheeses, such as Parmesan, Swiss, or aged cheddar. Stick to 1 or 2 ounces. Serve with sliced vegetables or olives. If you have lactose intolerance, older, harder cheeses are usually simpler to digest. We've covered 8 excellent dishes, but here's the issue. Even if you're eating well, one simple misstep could destroy all of your progress. What is it? That is what we will discover in our upcoming video. Do not miss it. These 8 meals are low in carbohydrates and sugar, yet high in nutrients that your body requires to stay healthy, energized, and self-sufficient. If you want to minimize blood sugar spikes, reduce inflammation, or simply feel better every day, start with these tiny, manageable modifications. Even replacing one high-carb dish with a healthier one can make a profound difference. Remember to always consult with your doctor before making major dietary changes, especially if you are managing a condition such as diabetes. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more senior-friendly nutrition recommendations. And don't miss our next video, because one simple eating mistake might quietly destroy all of your efforts to keep healthy. Stay healthy, and I will see you in the next one.